Hey everyone, it's the interview queen Alicia Atout here, and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you all to my interview with Spencer from Ice Nine Kills. Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, just enjoying the apocalypse.
Yeah, are you kind of used to it at this point, or is it still just taking it day by day, that awesome Groundhog Day we're all experiencing?
I've accepted it now. It took me a few months, but it's all downhill from here.
I know a lot of people have taken up a bunch of new things just from pure boredom. So have you
Yeah.
found yourself doing the same, or has the writing kind of kept your mind a little bit busy?
Outside of juggling, I've started to play tennis quite a bit,
Okay.
and I'm the only guy playing tennis dressed in like horror T-shirts and metal T-shirts. So I get some looks on the court, but my
Right.
backhand is improving.
It's interesting because whenever I think about people playing tennis, they're always kind of trying to wear as little as possible. So are you like a glutton for punishment? You're out there in like black jeans and long, baseball tees.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh
I don't
man.
show too much skin on the court. Try to keep it, pretty proper. But definitely a lot of like Halloween and Friday the 13th shirts don't usually appear on tennis courts. So I'm
No.
kind of I'm bringing a darker edge to the sport. I'm like
You're
sort of like almost like the Happy Gilmore of tennis for horror.
but instead of it's all in the hips, do you kind of have like a motto for when you're out there on the court?
It's all in the horns.
It's all in the horns. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, just speaking to horns, we of course have to dive into an upcoming release as you have a live EP coming out. I heard they kill live. So, I mean, with all the records that you've released over time, do you ever get kind of pre-release jitters at this point, or is it all pure excitement?
It's really exciting. We've never done a real full length, full band performance live album. And I grew up kind of loving those kind of things. Like I think one of the first Pantera records I ever had was 101 Proof. I loved the Metallica live album that they put out with the full orchestra. I used to trade sort of rare Nirvana live performances back like when I
Very
was a
cool.
kid at camp. So for me, it's just a really exciting experience, and can't wait to see what people think of it.
I'm really excited to hear more because, of course, we were sent a couple of little sneak peeks and stuff, but to actually dive into the full thing, I'm really excited to see what you did.
Thank you. Yeah, it's going to be really cool, and the artwork especially is, in my opinion, one of the coolest like live artworks I've seen. It was done by this guy Mike Cortada, and what I was trying to do is, as much as I love horror and metal, I also love punk, pop punk, and like the Southern California punk movement of the '90s, and I was trying to sort of harness that kind of like epitaph, like no effects look with the album art, and I think kids are gonna have a fun time looking for like little Easter eggs with inside the album art.
I find you're really big on that. A lot of bands will just kind of put out a cover or even merch and they're like, okay, it looks really badass. But you guys always add those Easter eggs and even more to your designs, which is a really cool thing for the fans.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm insane. So
That's all it boils down to.
yeah, exactly.
I know you recently, of course, shared another EP called Undead and Unplugged, and this one was actually recorded at the Stanley Hotel, the hotel in which the film The Shining took place. So knowing how much you are into horror films and love that film, even paying homage with your new Twitter profile photograph, I mean, how cool was it for you to explore that hotel and just step foot in there?
It was really cool for many different reasons. It was sort of like a field trip in a way because we played a show somewhere else in the country, and then I think the next morning we flew to Denver. So it's like we got a little field trip from the tour. And approaching the hotel, I was researching a ton about just the history of the Stanley, and also found that not only was the Shining inspired by a stay that Stephen King had there, but a comedy film that's one of my favorites, Dumb and Dumber,
Oh
was
my
filmed
gosh,
at the hotel too.
classic.
Classic. And I recognized a lot of stuff from that movie there, like the bar where Jim Carrey, says we landed on the moon. That newspaper article is on the wall there, and I guess
Oh,
that was
wow, okay.
that was just an ad lib that Jim did on the take, and yeah, it was great.
That's super cool. You got to not only be there, but take your time and look around and just enjoy the sights. And of course, this release wasn't just recorded with the band members in the hotel, as you played the set for a small group of fans. So do you prefer those more intimate settings for shows, or kind of the bigger concert halls at this stage?
I like sort of a variety of different kinds of shows, but this one in particular was really special because we don't play too many performances where people are seated. You know, this was like almost like a function room where a wedding would be, or some sort of like award ceremony. But it lent itself really nice to the atmosphere and the eeriness of the hotel. And there was something especially cool about playing the song based on The Shining at the hotel that inspired Stephen King to write it. So yeah, it was a great time, and the hotel treated us really well. They gave us these big like condos on the mountain, and actually, the next morning we had to drive to Denver for our show, and I went to go out to take a hot tub, and I locked myself out of the condo, and I didn't have clothes on because I didn't bring a bathing suit, so I just had a towel. So I had to like climb like up the balcony, like almost naked with just a towel to get back into the house. And luckily the door up on the balcony was open, but otherwise I didn't have my phone on me, so it could have been a tragedy.
It truly sounds like a scene out of Dumb and Dumber, so maybe it's fate.
It kind of was like, I felt like Jeff.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. My hair was crazy like his.
To go along with the EP release, you have some really cool and unique merch. I know I mentioned the branding and everything earlier, but you have some really cool stuff that not most bands have, like everything from puzzles to even an axe that fans can grab. So what would you say is the coolest piece of merch you have from another band? I mean, do you keep a lot of band tees or merch from when you went to shows growing up, or even now?
Absolutely, yeah. I've got way too many T-shirts from my youth. But something that's funny is I was always sort of into music before my peers were. You know, when I was like 6 or 7, I had Nirvana shirts down to my knees, you know, because they didn't make them in small enough sizes for me. And like, same, right?
Yeah.
I've got this one White Zombie shirt that I bought. It must have been in 1993 or 4 at Newberry Comics. It's this Rob Zombie's a great artist, and he drew this really cool, like scary zombie-looking, weird, very ugly creature that I think it came out around like the Astro Creep 2000 album cycle. And there are pictures of me wearing it, and it's all the way down the floor. And now it actually kind of fits me. So.
That's awesome. I always love going through all my merch, like my band t-shirts or wrestling shirts, and just it almost brings you back to the moment, like the concert or meeting a specific band. So it's cool that you kept all those things as well.
I agree, yeah. I hold them near and dear to my heart.
Something else that the band members also kind of hold near and dear is not only memorabilia from bands, but also, of course, movies and especially horror films. Like I know recently you were showing Ricky has a harpoon from Jaws, which is super cool and random. And then you have a Ghostface mask actually signed by Wes. So what are some of your more prized possessions that you own?
Definitely the Ghostface mask signed by Wes Craven. Was always a dream of mine to meet him. You know, not only did he create Freddy Krueger, but he was able to do that again with Ghostface in the 90s. So it's like he sort of influenced the genre in such a crazy way twice. You know, it's hard enough to do that in one. So that's one of my favorites, hands down. I was gifted a lamp covered in blood that's actually seen in Scream 4. There's one scene where Ghostface jumps out of the closet and just absolutely butchers this girl, and to put it in a nice way. And you can see the lamp there, and a friend of mine who knew one of the prop guys on Scream 4 sent it to me, and so it's up in my room right next to the bed. covered in blood.
That's super cool. I know you have just from photographs that you've posted on Instagram and stuff, like you have a lot of really cool murals and artwork also hanging around your place. So it seems like you kind of just really try to surround yourself with as much of the stuff you love and as much of the horror genre stuff that you can find.
Yes, and that was always to the delight of my mother when I would decorate my room like that.
I'm sure.
And I still have a bunch of crazy stuff in my room, my childhood home that my mom is nice enough to leave up. I think she hides some of the scarier things when she has visitors, though, and puts it in the closet. I'll come home for a holiday and find like a bust of baby Jason Voorhees like in the closet, and it's always disappointing to see.
I
I
mean,
want that right on the mantle.
as soon as guests walk into the house, it's the first thing you want them to see
Exactly.
in the foyer.
Right in the foyer.
Well, I mean, we had obviously spoken about Ghostface really briefly, which is such an iconic and one of the most worn costumes when it does come to Halloween. And Halloween is right around the corner. You even have a countdown going. So you must be pretty psyched. And are you already kind of working on costume ideas and have plans for it?
Yeah, I try to do something new every year. I don't know really what Halloween will look like this year with all the haunted houses and attractions, but Halloween is more of a state of mind than haunted houses or festivals. So we'll find a way to keep the twisted spirit of the holiday alive somehow.
I'm excited to see what you come up with. And of course, another hobby of yours I know that you have happens to be skateboarding. I used to board all of the time growing up until I just got this absolutely brutal cut on my knee, and I was like, I think that's it. So for you, what is the worst wipeout that you have had because of skateboarding?
Skateboarding. Well, I haven't skateboarded in so long, but I remember being pretty bad at it. And I had a driveway when I grew up with it was all brick, and I just remember I definitely stained that brick driveway with a lot of my own blood. I can't narrow it down to just one time, but there was a lot of blood spilled on that driveway.
Fun
Hopefully it's still,
memories.
yeah.
I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time and coming on here, Spencer. It was lovely being able to pick your brain. And I know myself, along with tons of fans, are super psyched for the upcoming release.
Thank you so much. It was fun talking.
Absolutely, everyone. This has been Spencer from Ice 9 Kills. I'm the interview queen, Alicia Atout. Be sure to check out I Heard They Kill Live and check out aliciatout.com for all exclusive interviews and features. We will see you all next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.